last time I did it, I basically spoke about when I joined the team, how we made the roster, and then all of this off season up to here, up to Colombia. I spoke about that last time, so now I'm going to speak about this, and then I'm going to speak about roster changes, and then I'm going to speak about this. So I'll be speaking about these two parts of my season, and then the next part I'll speak about stage 1, and then I'll speak about stage 2. But it's going to be a 4-part. Maybe 5 if I talk about what's happening in the future, but I don't know if I'll be able to at that point. So, like I said, last time I took off, we played Colombia. It wasn't great. We were all jet lagged, but there were still some issues that we'd seen within the team in these two, but we kind of just ignored them, I guess, and copiumed a little bit, and that kind of continued into this. So right here, after Colombia, we took a month break over December, and then I don't think we scrimmed. So we took a break here on the 5th, and we didn't come back until the 9th. So we played 9 scrims. We played 9 scrims, 1 icebox scrim. Okay, so keep that in mind. We played 8 scrims, 1 icebox scrim before going into this tournament. And this tournament was basically just practice for us. So I flew out, we got there, and we just kind of treated it as practice. So we played the 1 icebox scrim, and we still picked icebox, for instance. And I was pretty. I like Deadlock a lot, so I was like, guys, I really want to try Deadlock. I really want to play Deadlock. So we said, fuck it, we'll try it. We'll try it at this tournament. And we played this game. I can't remember too much. I do remember this map. We knew from playing this comp, we probably couldn't do the double duelist. We needed Killjoy, so we had to remove one of these, and we had to play Killjoy the next time we played it, which was fine. We lost, whatever. It doesn't matter. Then we played Ascent. I couldn't tell you anything that happened in this game. I don't remember. All I remember is Iceboxes. That's what we were focusing on. But as you can see, we didn't perform great. Oxy had a bad first map. He was warming up on the Reyna. And then just from this one alone, I'm pretty sure we got put off the Reyna because he had a bad performance, and we had doubts about Deadlock, and then we knew we needed KJ. And then we went into this game, and we played Lotus. We kept everything the same as previous. We didn't change. We didn't change anything. We didn't look to practice anything different. This was the meta comp. This is the comp we were good at. We were surprised 100 Thieves picked it, but they were probably doing the same thing as us, right? They were probably just testing comps. They just only came back. And they were trying things like Chamber. And then as you can see going forward, this became their like permaban for most of the tournament. Most of franchising, sorry. But yeah, they picked this, then they beat us. We picked Sunset, which was probably our best map at the time. We were playing a lot of double duelists, Yoru Rays, which is something I actually don't think we should have went away from as hard as we did, but I'll get to that later on. But I think we were very good with this. We were playing a lot of this. This is probably our best map. Astra, there was a little bit of Jake was, I kind of want to play Omen, I kind of want to play Astra, I don't really know what I want to play. So we were just trying out both things to see what was comfortable. And if I remember, like Sunset still ended up being like our best map. Unironically, it was like our best map, and we barely ever picked it throughout the whole year. But as you can see here, we were Omen, Omen, Astra, Astra, Harbor. Like we were changing a lot of our comps to figure out what we actually liked. Once Sunset, and then we went to Icebox, and somehow we put in the Killjoy. We brought back Jet, which is just Oxy's best agent, and we tried Zephyr on the Deadlock. And to be honest, this game, I personally thought went really well. I thought the Deadlock was really good. You could see how good she was. putting Oxy back on this, having the Killjoy for the mid. Like, I think this comp had a lot of legs. And I think you've seen... Did EG run this comp? EG ran a very similar comp. I think they ran no duelist, though. But yeah, so after this game, I was like, okay, I kind of like... I like the Icebox, I like the Deadlock. We should look to keep practicing it. And then I think we picked Icebox again here. Yeah, we did. So we went into this game. Again, horrible first map. This map for us, at the time, it was this and Breeze that we would ban. So we kind of knew coming into this, we were going to lose the first map. It was going to be very difficult for us to win the first map, and it was just taking a risk on which one we wanted to play. So I don't think there's much to speak about on this. We actually just got shit on. I think what was a big problem for our Icebox, not Icebox, our split, which got changed. Oh, that was a bit big. Is I think Vanity needed to be on the Omen. Yeah, I think Vanity had to be the Omen player, and that's what changed our split. So right before this game, I think, if I remember, we played a scrim somewhere. Actually, it was later on. Actually, I'll get to it. It was later on. So yeah, I thought that Vanity needed to play the Omen, and I thought Jake was probably better playing the Viper, because the way Jake was playing B was super aggro. But then it'd either be super aggro or super passive, and he wasn't doing like the in between of just jump spot and getting the info. Um, and it was a real problem for us. I think that was a big problem with our split that got fixed later on, which I'll come to. And then we decided to pick the Icebox again because, again, this was just practice to us, so we just wanted to try it. And I think we should have done a lot better than we did. Our defense was quite shocking. Oxy, as usual, played insane, +4, but I just don't know how we only get 3 rounds with these two agents. But yeah, like, this whole tournament was just practice for us, though. Like, it didn't matter. The whole concept of this tournament was just to come in and practice. But what I will say is we went in here to practice, but we didn't expect the performances to be so low. And the same issues that we'd previously had seen, certain players were still there. Like, the issues were still there, and it kind of wasn't acceptable. But we were also like, we were very much copium. We were like, okay, well, we went to Korea, we went to Japan, we went to Korea, we won it. We went to Japan, we got only beat by Fnatic in the final. We were jet lagged in Colombia, so there was some copium. And this was our first tournament back, and we'd only scrimmed 8 times. Eight scrims, and it was just for practice. So there was a lot of copium. So trying to justify any changes were, it just wasn't possible. Like, I was also in on that. It's not like it's not like I'm sitting here going, oh, I knew we should have changed players. No, like, we had feelings, but I was also having some of that copium as well, right? Like, I'm also just human. But yeah, then we practiced pretty hard going into the first game. The first game was the 17th, so we scrimmed a lot. Scrimmed pretty much every day. Every day we could. Days off weren't actually days off. If I remember going into it, we were playing a lot of Bind. Like, we were very well prepared for Bind. I think our Bind was like our best map on paper. We were very strong with the Yoru raise. This was just before the meta changed to Gecko. But if you, I don't know if some people are here from, I loaded up a stream when Gecko came out, and I was like, wow, Gecko looks amazing on Bind. I just couldn't justify taking us off of these agents, and I don't think we ever should have went off them realistically. Again, it's very hindsight. But yeah, I actually think we got kind of lucky in this game, and the signs and the worries that we had were still showing through. People being quiet, people not taking initiative. So if Vanity wasn't feeling it, maybe the way we practiced was a little bit wrong as well, in the sense that we didn't have enough actual structure to fall back on. It was very much, if Vanity is in the zone, he's going to call an insane game. Like, if Vanity's feeling it, we're probably going to win. And as the year went on, that became more and more unreliable. But also, like, for that to work, you need people to have opinions. People have to give ideas, they have to take initiative, they have to be confident. And if that stuff isn't happening, then the whole team will fall apart. I think how we played in scrims, we were just beating everyone. It wasn't like at this time. I wish I still had my scrim results saved because I would show them, but I don't have them saved from this area. I actually think Googly still has his saved, but either way, we were very good on bind, and we were very confident coming into this. That's why we picked bind, and this ended up being our ban in split two. I actually hate bind. I hate bind. Vanity hates bind. We've always hated bind, but for some reason in this team, bind started working, and I honestly think it was massively down. The reason our bind was working was massively down to Oxy. I don't necessarily think it was down to anything else other than the fact that Oxy was playing Yoru and Eric was on Raze. And what would happen, I think I showed this in the last video a little bit, but all we would do, Raze, Sky, Yoru, bro, why can't I click anything? Oh my god, I just clicked like 10 Razes. Yo, 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 what's going on? So what we would do on defense is we would just have these two playing here, then you would have something like this, and then the Viper could float, or you would do this. And the main way we were winning was literally through how good Oxy was and how free he was. So we would flash here. Like, there was some structure behind it, of course. Like, we went over protocols, we went over like what to do in situations. So our biggest one was we would just flash long, and if this doesn't hit anyone, he would have a TP here, and then he would dog through. We'd dog through here, it'd come out, he'd come fight, he'd come through, and then he'd just do the simple fight here. And he would pretty much, especially in scrims, he would win this fight every time. He would kill someone every single time, and then he would TP back. And honestly, in scrims, he'd probably kill 3. And then he just TP back. The other way to play that we had was we would do this TP. So you'd throw it from here. You just line up on this bit, and it comes along, and it goes to there. And we would just, again, we would have the Viper wall to delay, and we would just leave Sky. Like, we could just leave Sky for info, and if we got any pressure on A, he would just TP, and we would just have 4 here ready to fight. And then if they went B, we would simply just TP behind them. Or we would early rotate back off. But it was that simple. Like, having the Yoru that could just TP around and give us so much information was just so fucking good on this map. And we just built everything pretty much around that. On attack, it was the same thing. I showed this last time. He would come here. He would throw his TP like this, so it lands here. And then you would have Viper here, wall, smoke, and you would have these 3 as a pack. So you would have these 3 as a pack. Yoru would go over here. Yoru would throw this through the smoke. He'd flash through the smoke because they'd probably smoke here, right? He'd flash. He'd do this. He'd go in. He'd kill one. And as he kills one, we'll be up here because we would have dogged up. We'd have all control. Viper could be, and he would just TP back. We could just hit B. We could just do one of our B execs, and then it's free. And the other way to do it is he would come in if no one's fighting him, or he's killed one and he doesn't want to TP. We would then just TP to him, and we would just do the same thing. We would just exec from showers, or we would TP to him, go short, and just exec from short. So everything was built around the Yoru. But yeah, that was basically our win con on Bind. We really bought into, like, everyone's like, Oxy's insane, right? Don't get me wrong, but we did a lot around Oxy as well. Like, we would make the team around him being our win con, which probably in the long run come back to bite us in the ass, because people then just stopped fighting. People would not fight Oxy. They would just hide from him. And then I feel like as the season went on, instead of him learning to be patient and wait, and we get the fights together, or we get the space and then we exec, he would then force a fight, and it would be a bad fight, and we'd be fighting on their terms rather than our terms. Which, to be fair, he still won it a lot of the time. Yeah, we won. We won Bind, and then we came to this again, which is the same problem I spoke about. Right, we're playing split. We still haven't changed Vanity to smokes. We're still keeping them on Viper, and this should have been. And at this point, this isn't even hindsight anymore. It's something I've spoke about, and I'm pretty sure 2 days before we played Jake on Viper in a prac, and it actually went well. And then we were meant to play it here, but on the day, Jakey was like, "I don't feel comfortable playing Viper today," so we didn't do it. And then we ended up playing the same thing, and then same outcome, right? We did the same thing, same outcome. Whereas I think it's not even on Jake. I think I knew he was going to say he's uncomfortable doing it, and I should have been more of an aggressive coach, and I should have just said, "No, you're fucking playing Viper." Because looking back now, it's like, okay, well, we went in, we did the same thing, we lost, and nothing changed. And then if we'd have played him and he wasn't comfortable, and we'd have still lost, at least it would have been like, okay, well, we tried something. We actually tried to change it. But yeah, and then third map was Lotus, and this should have been a lot easier because we we anti-stratted MIBR. Me and Googly did anti-strat on them, and I don't still have it, otherwise I would show it. But they would play the same way all the time, and I think it was their C was insanely weak. But either way, the anti-strat was really good. Like, we knew everything MIBR were gonna do before they did it. Like, it was really bad. This should have been a stomp. But again, it ended up close. I was a bit like, okay, maybe we got a little bit lucky here. This should have been a lot smoother. But either way, we got the win, and we go on to play NRG. Now this is where I think, as much as the team can take some blame, I will put blame on myself. I knew we were going to get hard anti-stratted because we had been dominating with this comp, and NRG do a lot of anti-stratting. They love to anti-strat. I knew we were going to get anti-stratted, and we'd been playing this, and we'd been dominating everyone. Our sunset looked insane. We were obviously going to pick it. They were obviously going to leave it open. We were obviously going to pick it. We were obviously going to get anti-stratted. Like, it was clear as day. But then you come to that thing where, one, not only have I got to convince myself that my judgment is correct and we need to change this, I then need to convince my team that we need to change something that's winning. And now, the big part of being a coach is the players can, and rightfully slow, they're like, okay, we're winning. Like, we're confident in our abilities. We don't need to change. I knew we had to change, but I didn't enforce the change. And again, it was the same as the fucking Jakey thing. We just lost, and it was something where I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're going to lose if we don't change. And we just came in, we got anti-stratted. They knew where our TPs were going to land. They knew every exec we were going to do, and we didn't change anything. And a big part of it was what we did in this time here was we focused more on fixing our maps. If I remember, like we were refreshing the maps we were good at, but we were fixing the maps we weren't good at. Like we were playing Breeze. Like we were trying to be good at every map instead of re-innovating. And re-innovating is something I love to do, and being ahead of the meta is something I also love to do. And I just think there was a lot of copium from our off-season tournament and scrims where we were like, we can't change because we're just beating everyone. But when you get into a match, everything changes. And I think that was a big learning curve for me. And I think this game right here is the game that made our split one so much better. This is the game that changed our team for the better. And then we played Ascent, and if I remember, we probably should have won. We lost 2 silly rounds here. Let me go look at them. One thing we were very good at this map was keeping A control. These two, Zepper and Jake, used to always keep it. Okay. Can anyone spot the mistake right now? Yo, I'll hide the quality. Sorry, my bad, guys. Can anyone spot the mistake? What is going to fuck us right now? Or at least what do I feel like is gonna fuck us? Oh, I'm covering the map. Sorry, guys. My bad. Let me put this over here. And I could definitely be wrong. Definitely are info starved. But I think we have a good idea that they go in A, because that's why these have swapped. What I didn't like here was, if we just go back, one thing that Oxy doesn't do enough of is he doesn't come on these angles. But I think here, instead of him rotating all the way around to B, I actually think he could have just went A. But I think what's going to cost us, before I even see the round, is Jake comes back into here, and we have no TP. He TP's back in, instead of walking back in. But I think we know they're going to hit A, because this is where it would be nice to have voice comms, because I think we know they're going to hit A. So like right here, I think it would be much better if Jake, for instance, Jake has his TP, he walks back into here, and I think if Oxy is on this angle, and the KO is in this area instead. So it should look like KO's here, Jet's here, and then Omen's here with a TP. That's what I would prefer this to look like right now. Like Jake's just fucked right now. How he's got out is actually insane.
I thought he was the dead man walking.
I mean, he's been finessing all over this A site.
So right now we wouldn't, if we had Oxy here as well, Oxy would still have the angle. He'd still be ready to get one.
Pushing the situation.
We wouldn't have had to smoke it off.
Finding his positioning and trying to punish with it. But here we go, the hit out towards A, the Hunter's Fury after crashing.
Wow.
Zappa dancing around the ults, not able to get a third kill, but it might have been enough. Marved on the counter, Vanity. Talk about unlucky timing. Literally, it just turned away from that angle. Oxy was
I actually don't think this round was that bad, but if those rotations were the way I said, which I think the way they should be, it changes everything. One, Jakey takes pretty much no damage. He TP's out. And then 2, we don't need to put the smoke here, because Oxy would still be on the angle. Now I feel like we've just got scared. Like we've just lost one round. Like we've been punished being aggro, and then we're instantly just playing passive. If we get B split, we just lose. If this guy can't stay alive because they're so separate, I think Wippie has to be here. Yeah, Wippie has to be here to stop this B split hitting us because he has a judge. So if they want to take this fight on him, he's pretty fucked. So he needs to be on this angle. I also think having the KO rotate spawn is strong here too.
6-2 against Oxy in the first map.
Yeah, last map, Demon 1 was 6-2 against Oxy, but trying to change the narrative here.
That boy doesn't know quit, man.
Like now he's fucked. But we have no one here to help him. Like we're all the way over here. We can't get there to help him. We can't help push this guy off. We can't help him get out by covering this angle. Like he's just fucked. He's just on his own. As he's just dead. If he gets one, fuck. God bless.
Far up, Crash. But they've been flanked. They've been wrapped around.
What I don't understand is why we just killed the guy here. We killed the spike. No one's pushing him out. This guy's under no pressure right now. He has a one-way. Like we don't need to go for this. Like there's them coming off cat here was fucking perfect. But then here, we don't need to go for it. Like we killed one, we threw a flash, you can chill. We have KO ult. We had KO knife, so you could knife and see if there's anyone else in here. We don't actually need to do this because this guy's under no pressure. So like this is a point where like, is Max not talking? Is this one of the reasons like we decided to make roster changes? Are these comms not high enough? Are we being too aggro? Is his comms clear? Like I can't know without going back and look at the comms, but he can knife to see if anyone's in market.
But they don't expect Crashy
To clear it anyway.
what they were looking for. Crashy trying to land the shot onto the second. You see that paranoid
It's one of those that it's not a bad play, but we don't need to do it.
going to connect.
I actually don't mind. I don't mind this. Like I say, they don't need to do it, but I think it's fine because they're doing something together. At least they're doing something together. Bro, tier 1 Wippie. Bro, I love Wippie. I think Whippie's insane. And in the next part, you'll realize we weren't actually going to change two players. We were only going to change one player. And then in typical C9 fashion, we lose pistol, we lose bonus, probably verse ults. Yeah, but this game was the one that changed me, especially. And then we played probably the worst result of my whole season, to be honest. The one that was actually the worst. We just shouldn't have lost this game. This is what's supposed to happen in the first game. This is what we'd practiced. We'd practice someone being here and holding this angle. And what happens in the first game is we forget. And this is why some of the slack like coaches or IGLs or whatever get, I think is pretty harsh because sometimes in the moment, people just forget what they're supposed to do. Like here, we practiced the guy being heaven. Every Antico, we wanted the guy in heaven. And then we get into the match, and we don't do it. And then the coach or whoever will get the blame and be like, what are they doing? But it's like, bro, that's not even what we're supposed to do. And then we get ecoed. But yeah, this is the game where it all happened. This is where I paused twice. This is where FNS hating the hate streams. This is where he started the hate streams. Which, fair play to him. He's getting his back, but oh, Oxy was so good at playing Yo. This shit was personal. He does it with everyone, bro. He hates everyone. But karma came for him in the end, so it's fine. right here, like I know we were getting a lot of hate for giving them the map kind of thing, but we have Nade to stop the plant. We have Yoru coming in and ulting. Like we had a plan here. It wasn't just like we gave them the whole map with no plan. The only thing I don't like. Actually, it was fine. Actually, ignore me. We're trolling for sure. How we win this round is a miracle. The thing I don't like is like we have the plan, but then we're not even waiting for the Yoru ult to come. Like Yoru's just cleared all of this for us, and then we've come in to fight this. Remember the Vanity 2K Spectre? Bro, I remember a clip of Vanity. Oh, I don't know if it was this game, bro, but he was on B, he was playing Sky, and he was just killing everyone. It might have been this game, bro, but he was just killing everyone. But here's where we do the anti-eco correctly again. Like we gave them short because we knew we had nades, we had utility, we have the range. Oh, we picked up. Again, I didn't speak about this in the pause. I'm pretty sure either Oxy said I want it up, and when someone says that, you're not really gonna stop them. Or just after my tack had finished, Vanity told him to buy it up. But I don't think we should have bought up. Like what we were doing is working. Having Oxy shower crunch, all of this is like a big part of our play, and then we just bought up in a pause. Like sometimes when another team pauses against me, this is why I think it's better to just sometimes just not even discuss anything. Like if you're 4-0 up and it might be our pause, like bro, sometimes it's just better to not even talk about anything because you just overthink. Now we have nothing. We have no info if this guy's up. We have the info that they're here, but we have nothing else. This guy's gonna have a field day against us. Jake's watching it though. Calls them back and they just exec on us probably. Oh, it's Wippie even. That was a good ult. Now we're on a retake with an AWP. Like in scrims, this wouldn't have happened. I'm pretty sure if I pull up any scrim VOD, I don't know if anyone's in here. Maybe Ant or Googly. It looks like they're in here, but I'm pretty sure in scrims, these two would be fighting here, or maybe Eric, sorry, and one of them would be fighting showers, and then every time we would just fight this. Was Googly not on the team? Okay. Well, anyway, we would fight this every time. Like Francis would come through, he'd TP through, and we'd fight. And Ant would just keep info here on his own. He would just stay here on his own the whole time. Yeah, we would talk. We would ask for flashes through TP, and then I think we just shut down. We just didn't speak, and this is ultimately what caused us to end up making the changes. I will say I personally learned a lot in Kickoff about myself. Like over here, Ant's getting all the info, and then here we're just I don't really know what we're doing. I'll be honest.
hit by the dagger, right?
Well, he got hit with that one.
So let's see what happens.
But he doesn't have his TP anywhere, so no misdirection, at least yet.
I hear him shoot here too.
Like, I just don't. We've been knifed. We can hear that they're coming up long. We got flashed once in showers, but we're sat so passive. We haven't smoked. We're not taking the fight. We're just sat here. We're not rotating when all this information's going off. We just got scared.
Ooh, so we know he's still in sight.
Bullet picked up. Ult online. In the face of the flash, they pause for a moment, and then
Like,
commit.
we're just gonna lose this 9 times out of 10.
There are only 2 members here on site. Great dog. Tried getting away with murder, and he's ultimately punished for it. Bazim gets all down. He gets 2 kills. The site is wide open.
How we haven't had any kind of a rotate or any info gathering here is just mind blowing. Why did Yoru pick Unbind? Just because the meta became Sky Gecko exec heavy. But I still think Yoru could beat that comp. You just have to be very aggressive and disrupt their executes, or have the fast rotations. I think I end up using a second pause in this, but yeah, this was ultimately the game. You know what? Is this the second one? This is it, right? Yeah. Yeah, and then we lost the scent. So overall in this thing, like, this game massively led to the changes. We already knew that they were going to happen, but then this just confirmed that we were going to make some kind of a change. This is probably the worst loss of the season. Not the worst feeling loss, but the most embarrassing loss, shall we say. The worst feeling loss? Oh, there was a few of them. And then this one taught me the most, because I definitely should have changed this comp. Or had a better game plan of how to use the comp, but I probably should have just changed the comp. And then on split here, we definitely needed Ant on smokes. After this, we made the changes, so let me try and think what happened regarding the changes. We knew we had to change something, and we knew it had to be one of these two. And we discussed about it, so we decided to try out for both the spots. What we originally did was we moved Ant to smokes. We brought in Runi to play Vanity's Viper role. And we tried Jakee on Sentinel. That's what we did during Runi's first tryout. So we played Jakee on Sentinel, we played Runi on Viper, and we played Ant on the smokes. And it actually didn't go that bad. Runi was insane. Like, as soon as he came and tried out, he was insane. Like, we wanted to get him after day one, pretty much. Like, we knew we wanted him. We had a conversation. We'd already had a conversation about Moose, and we knew we wanted to try him. But at the point of trying him, I was actually sure we were going to keep Jake. I actually thought we were going to keep Jake, and we were just going to play Jake on Sentinel. Because I didn't necessarily want to drop anyone, and I really don't like dropping players at all. But we had the conversation, and then we were like, okay, let's bring Moose in. Let's see how Moose works. If we've got an actual Sentinel who's experienced on Sentinel, we're close to the season, and if he feels right, we'll take him. And Moose tried out for us, and again, just day one, it was just night and day between Jakee and Wippie and Runi and Moose. Like, we just had so much more comms, so many more ideas, people bringing things to practice. It was just an obvious decision to make the change. And I think Wippie could play tier 1. I think he's insane. I think him being Russian was a big reason that he got changed as well, to be honest. with him needing visas. And then Jake, I also think could play tier 1. I think Jake could play tier 1. He just needs to go back down to tier 2 and re-get his confidence back. Yeah, I think Jake just needs to go get his confidence back. Yeah, I know he's in tier 2. No, he is. He's in tier 2. He just needs to get his confidence back from tier 2. And then he could potentially play tier 1 once he gets that back. I think in this team with me and Zeppa, I feel like he kind of took the back seat and went into the shadows a little bit, and he didn't want to be as confident. And he also had some like real life issues going on, I guess. That's for him to talk about, not for me. But I think he could definitely be a tier 1 player. But yeah, the changes were just night and day, and it was just obvious we needed to make them. And as we can tell by what happened in Split 1, they were definitely the correct decision. But yeah, I'll talk about Split 1 next time. And then, unfortunately, I'll speak about Split 2 as well the time after. But if anyone wants to ask any questions regarding anything, you can ask them now. Someone said something about net. We actually had a long conversation about net. We spoke about him a lot at some point, but he wasn't available at the time.